Hey everyone, Morgan here. So we are on Unit 3, which is Chemical Reactions and Equation Balancing, and this is page 3 of 8 for Honors Chemistry. So we're going to talk about translating sentences, the written word, into equations, what they look like as chemical equations. Now, it often comes up the question, how do you know what state of matter something is in? Now, we're really not going to test you on it, but I still do want to talk about it. What things are gases? Well, mostly things that are molecular. Okay, two nonmetals when we put them together. And we had a silly little acronym, Hofbrinkel. And these things are diatomic gases at room temperature. Okay? So that's one way to think about it. Sometimes you're just told that something's a gas, and you don't have any problem knowing it. Now, liquids. Liquids, well, these are the hardest to tell. And you will be told something that'll give you a clue whether or not something is going to be a liquid. Now, aqueous, these are solutions. And you are usually told there'll be the word aqueous in the question that gives you that clue. Now, solids are going to be things like metals and ionic solids. So if you have a metal with a non-metal together, it's pretty likely going to be as a solid, or if it's just a pure metal, iron or magnesium or gold, it's very likely to be a solid. Okay? So now, how do we translate some of these? Solid sulfur, well, hey, I like that word, solid. Solid sulfur plus oxygen gas, I like the gas, yields sulfur dioxide gas. So solid sulfur is an S. We could put that solid in parentheses. Now, oxygen gas. Oxygen is one of these things that we referred to up here in Hofbrinkel. It's always a diatomic in nature when it's alone. So O2 gas yields sulfur dioxide gas, SO2 gas. So a lot of clues were in that question, okay, which helps us along. Now for the next one, solid carbon. So carbon as a solid reacts with oxygen gas, which is O2G, to make carbon dioxide gas, which is CO2 gas. Now I'm hoping that suddenly you're starting to catch on that you do actually have to remember stuff from the last chapter to get through this. Now, sodium metal. Sodium is Na, and since it's a metal, we'll call it a solid. Reacts with chlorine gas, Cl2 gas, and again, chlorine is one of these things that's in Hofbrinkel, and all of those are diatomic. When they are alone in nature, like this. So Cl2 gas to make solid sodium chloride, NaCl, it's a solid. Now for balancing, we have to put a 2 there and we have to put a 2 there. Okay. Calcium carbonate is heated. Now calcium carbonate, CaCO3. I'm relying on stuff I learned in the last chapter. That's an ionic, so it's a solid. If you didn't put state of matter, you'd be okay. To form carbon dioxide, CO2, which I know is a gas, and calcium oxide, CaO. Now that's ionic and is going to be a solid. Again, if you didn't get that, the world is not going to end. And then methane gas is burned in oxygen gas. Methane gas is CH4G. And I gave you the formula there in the question, so it wasn't a matter of memorizing it. Oxygen gas, O2G, to produce carbon dioxide, that's a gas, CO2 gas. Water vapor, vapor is a word that means gas. H2O, gas. And we're going to need to put a 2 there and a 2 there to balance that one. Okay? So I'm going to have you do a bit of a homework about this, but I don't think it's going to be the hardest homework that you see this year. Okay, that's the end of page 3. We'll be coming back with page 4 in a little bit.